Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm, yeah. Mm. Born and dead, saved by love. Count my blessings from above. Though in darkness, have no fear. Light will shine on those holding near. They know that sorrow they will pass. For I know in this life there will be some pain. But remember that love, yes it will. Love will reign. Yeah, love will reign. Yeah, in my heart I believe it. Love will reign. Oh, yeah, yeah. Have a vision, it's clear and plain. People living life, smiling again. Oh, see the children, they know no pain. Far from pressure, stress and strain. Oh, sorrow, they will pass. For I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But remember that love, yes it will. I know, yeah, love will reign. Gotta believe it. In my heart, I truly believe sun will shine again. And love, I can hardly wait. We'll all be together. There'll be peace, peace, sweet peace, happiness and joy. One day, someday, pain will be over and love will reign. They won't last, for I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But in the end, love will reign. Love will reign. Said it in His word. Weeping may endure the night. Love will conquer all. Love will win the fight. So don't be discouraged. Don't be dismayed. The darkest hour is just before the light. Hate will be crushed, fear will be gone, love will remain and go on and on. Though the road seems rough, my friend, we know how the journey ends. Oh, yeah. La, da, da, da. La, da, da. La, da, da. Oh, oh. La, da, da, da.
Love will reign. Happy New Year, whether you're watching us live from the Love and Stuff community page on Facebook. If you're watching us on the Marcus R. Holmes page or any of the love groups, if you're watching us on Instagram or TikTok or Twitch TV or YouTube events, I'm Marcus Holmes, the love activist. I'm advocating for a better love for you and me around the world. So wherever you are, click share, tag 5 of your closest friends, followers, subscribers, connections, or friends. 5 of the more popular ones to join us in tonight's discussion, which I think is being discussed everywhere around the world on virtually every social media platform and every barbershop, everywhere. I hope if you're like Kay on Instagram, or you're like any of the folks joining us, if you're like Too Tall Q on Instagram, I hope that you will click share and join in this discussion. I want to just caption it this way. Tell me if you've seen this image anywhere. Let's see. If you've seen this image anywhere, just give me some hearts, some likes, some something, some comments. Have you seen these images? Have you seen these images? Give me some hearts. Give me some likes. Okay, some folks on TikTok have seen it. What about on other platforms? Give me some hearts if you have seen these images. This image has been just about everywhere. And I don't typically lean very much. I'm going to share it a few times throughout the evening. I don't typically lean very much into the salacious, though I know salacious is what people love. In the Love and Stuff community, we really focus on upping our love game in our relationship with the quintessential love, who is God. I'm pointing because I think of God as being up higher than me, right? The love of self, because God wants us to love ourselves and our neighbors and others. So we're always talking about those 3 tiers or dimensions of love in the Love and Stuff community. Although most people want the love, that intimate love of boo or bae, partner, Buki, they want that love. I also want to encourage people to work on their love relationship with God, work on embracing the love he has for us, loving yourself, caring for yourself so that you can love others better. But I know that salacious topics around love tend to get a lot of fodder and attention. And early in Love and Stuff, we did a lot of that. And sometimes we bring those topics that are raw, and sometimes those topics that are sometimes taboo, because we want it to be a safe space where you can talk about all things love and stuff. Well, tonight we're kind of foraying into the stuff. Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant, who a dear friend of mine whose birthday it is today. Shout out to you, Rochelle. I call him her baby daddy, one of her baby daddies. No shade or shame to her husband. She's always had a special place in her heart for the personality and preaching of Dr. Bryant. And his fine, foxy, elegant, intelligent, witty, bold, charismatic wife, Dr. Carrie Bryant, who I'm going to put the photo up again, is a beautiful woman and appears to be beautiful inside and out. I've not had the privilege or pleasure to meet her, but she's certainly beautiful on the outside, and the way that she presents leads me to believe that she's beautiful inside. And you know that they have made it to USA Today, I believe they're on, or Newsweek. They're on all of these different news cycles based on this dress that Dr. Bryant wore, and her husband, Dr. Bryant, says he bought, that some will say is very provocative. Some will say very it slayed. Autumn is going to get me because I'm not doing the right thing. Her and Kamal are both going to get me. Clock it. It's tea. Some are going to say it's fire. Some are going to say it's going to burn in hell. Some say that it's inappropriate. Some say she shouldn't be in it. And boy, was she in it. She was in that dress. I'm showing the picture again. She is in this dress and she looks beautiful to me. Of course, we're going to have differences of opinion. And I talked to many people via inbox and others just to gather some thoughts to find out how people felt about the dress. And while I have my own thoughts, and I'm going to share my thoughts, it was interesting to hear people's reactions to my thoughts, including Autumn Nicole, who I hope will come through. But we had some spirited discussion, and I love watching her be an adult and have her own thoughts. I love it. I think that people should be able to wear what they want to wear in general. That is my thought. But I must admit that I have a different level of expectation for the men and women who bear the call of elder, itinerant, evangelist, first lady, which that might not be fair. I don't know her specific ministry title, but I know that she works in ministry as well. And I hold them to a different level. And Autumn was sharing with me, I don't know if that's fair to do. Maybe it's not. I'm going to give some thought and prayer about it, but I do hold them to a different level. And for me personally, regardless to what the affair is, the event is, if my first lady wore something that I felt was not appropriate and I had relationship with my first lady, I would bring that privately to her attention. Now, there are a lot of male pastors that I talked to across ages, and some of them went in on me and said, I would have to check you if you checked my wife, even nicely. I said, and we'll be checking each other back and forth until I leave the church. Because if I have a relationship with her, means I can go up and talk to her. We have talked, maybe had coffee, whatever. Served on a program together, served on an activity together, some relationship other than me attending and waving from a distance. If I'm in relationship with her, I'm going to say, that was an interesting choice of dress, not one that I would expect from you. But if you love it, I like it. And that's what I would say. Now, again, I've talked to pastors across the gamut. A few of them told me that their wife wouldn't wear it, so they weren't going to participate in the hypothetical. But I cajoled a couple of them into participating. And I got a cross section. Some of them said, my wife would be gracious to you and say, well, thank you for your opinion. And some of them said she wouldn't have to say anything because I would be checking you from here until Jesus comes. And I'll be honest, I told them Jesus might come early for them. This ain't what you want. You don't want them kind of problems. But Autumn had a very different opinion and thought, it could be off-putting if you do that. It could hurt that person's feelings. You might want not to share how you feel and just pray about it and keep it moving, which I love her response. I don't agree with it, but I love it. But one of the things she highlighted that I wanted to share is that it appears very difficult for people who are younger and unchurched to understand these requirements that we place on dress. A lot of the younger folks that I talked to said the dress was fire and she wasn't at church and she was with her husband. And you can't hold her to first lady status if she's at an event, a fundraiser where she's raising money. I didn't agree with that. I think that if you're the first lady, really, if you're Christian, if you're representative of the quintessential love, wherever you are, you're representative of the quintessential love. But I understand their point that people should have a right to live their lives without being under this condemnation that I think we put them in, especially since there is therefore now no condemnation for them that are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but walk after the Spirit. We can spar on that a bit, wouldn't we? I don't know that this beautiful woman in this knockout dress might be the most reflective from someone who's just taking a gander at her and taking something from that impression, that they may see her as our premier representative, right? I would, though, never advise anyone to judge a book by its cover or judge a person by their dress, right? But I know that there are people that do, and I think we do have to be aware of that. And that is the beginning and end of my thoughts personally about her being in this dress. I don't want to say much more except, how did Dr. Brian bag her? That's what I want to say. Of course, he bagged Giselle, right? But he bagged her, and she is gorgeous. Now, ladies, I'm not saying that you don't find Jamal Harrison Brian attractive or that he isn't attractive. I'm saying, isn't she gorgeous? And for me, let me give the disclaimer, I'm not married and I'm not a pastor. I know for me personally, it might not be a dress that I buy for my wife to go out to an event, but that's a personal preference, right? But I wanted to talk a little bit more about what's happening to now in the internet. Is there is a bishop, a pretty well-known bishop, who it appears in a service, which sometimes we might have to cut the cameras off when we're giving some things that we might not want them to go viral, but he made some commentary that to me renders condemnation without investigation, explanation, or true observation. And that's why I'm broaching this today, not so much because it is everywhere, but I think the voice of love should say something when love is kind of hanging in the balance, because quite often we see things that happen in the church, and every church gets the brunt of what happens in one, or one public figure that is of the cloth or is of religious ilk does something contrary to what appears to be the right thing, and all churches ain't nothing as a result of that. All pastors aren't this. All. The church gets a black eye, sometimes a double black eye, because someone's misstep leads people to misrepresent what is the universal church. Now, don't get me wrong, the church is not perfect. I would never pretend as if it is, because it has people in it. And people are not perfect. The people are the church. It's not the brick and mortar. It's the living organism that is the church. So it's going to be imperfect. But I want to caution us by judging each other in a way that doesn't give room for explanation or doesn't give room for observation. I think you get, if you watch the podcast that Dr. Brian has, I think you get that these are two people who are new in their love relationship and really love each other. And can you remember being new in love and really loving the other person? Can you remember a time where you were just amazed at how you landed with the person that you have and how you wanted to show him or her off to the world? Has anybody ever had that experience? You've been in love and you wanted everybody to know. It's almost like when you first become a Christian, you're like, I'm a Christian. Are you a Christian? You want everybody to know who the source of your love is. And sometimes, maybe without giving the kind of forethought that some might, or at the risk of giving that forethought, you may do something extravagant, bold, revealing, as a sign of how beautiful, how hot, how fresh, how raw, how passionate, how fill in the blank that love is to you. And you're not thinking about how people will interpret it, how people will take it, what people will do with it, because you just are excited about that love. If you've ever done that, give me some hearts or likes. Thank you. I see some happening over there on TikTok. If that's ever happened to you, then I want you to give grace that that may be one of the things that is happening in this relationship, where he simply wanted to give her something that was going to show off who she was in a way that made him feel good and maybe made her feel good. Maybe they didn't think anything of that dress. I would personally say maybe it doesn't represent the most modest look as we think about modesty in as the Bible talks about. I don't think it is reflective. I don't think that will be the picture, and I'm going to show it again, of modesty in any concordance or Bible if we had pictures, right? I don't think you think modesty. Now, this is not new where there is a nude or sheer or material that gives this mystique of body shape or body reveal. This is not a new phenomenon. This kind of material, this kind of design, this kind of couture expression is not new. But I think we may not see it as often, as frequently in the kingdom. And so those that are within the body of Christ, maybe, are saying, wait, this does not comport. I want you to think about how culture and tradition, how even across various denominations, shape how we think, what we wear, and what we do. There are denominations where women don't still wear makeup. And there are denominations where women still don't wear pants. And there are denominations where it is totally acceptable, right? It's a part of the culture. You've been inculcated to wear pants. I just had a New Year's Eve celebration where one of the choristers from another church said, "Is it okay if we wear pants?" She had the good sense, I'm going to call it, to know there are places still where women don't wear pants. Gratefully, the women where I lead in music can wear pants as they serve. But there are places that would not allow that. And I raise that because what may seem like a fashion faux pas in one denomination may not be the faux pas in another. Somehow my live ended on TikTok. Okay. Not sure what happened over there, but we'll have to see what happens. Yep, it did. Okay. Not sure what happened. Okay. Some kind of faux pas. In one, it is acceptable. In another, it isn't. So that's the observation explanation part of it that I think is important. But in one denomination, a bishop, and again, I'm not saying he's reflective of the thought of every person in that denomination. That is not what I'm espousing. But he made a comment. He made comments, plural. Among those comments, he referred to Dr. Bryant as positioning his wife, Dr. Bryant, to be seen as a $2 whore. I must admit, I was shocked. I was shocked because even if the intent wasn't to demean, humiliate, degrade, defame, admonish Dr. Mrs. Bryant, it had the effect of doing just that. I think he intended, even though I've seen some pretty colorful comments from him, I think he intended to say that this man's actions in buying the dress put his wife up to look like a $2 whore. And while I vehemently disagree with his position and disagree with him even expressing it in that way, I think it's an important lesson for us to learn about how we speak the truth in love. Now, some will say you don't need to speak on it. And for me, if I'm not in relationship with the Bryants, or that isn't my first lady, I may not need to speak on it. By the same token, I have the right to an opinion. But what's the purpose of the opinion if I'm speaking it public and I'm not speaking it to those individuals in a way that helps them consider correcting or just behavior? What is the purpose of my opinion, of sharing that opinion? And you got to ask yourself, when you're speaking the truth in love, what is love's purpose? What is the purpose of your voice speaking the truth? Is it to admonish people that you have no jurisdiction over? Is it to impose or superimpose yourself in life situations that you would never be part of? Why are you speaking the truth? For what purpose? To what end? And is it your truth? Is it a universal truth? Is it an absolute truth? Is it a cultural truth? Because I think maybe what was spoken could be a cultural truth for that denomination. But because it's a cultural truth does not make it an absolute truth. Meaning, what is worn is too revealing. Too revealing for what and to whom? That's why that explanation and observation. Is it the culture of today's society, today's church world, today's Full Gospel Church or Baptist Church or AME Church? What is the culture as it relates to what is appropriate and isn't? And if someone's orientation is that it's appropriate, should you speak the truth in love to defame them? Or should you share your truth in the hopes that they pursue an absolute truth, which is God looks at our hearts and wants us to come as we are, that he might change us into who he would have us to become. And that work is really left for the master carpenter. Everyone else is but a helper. Everyone else should but take their instructions and guidance from the master carpenter. He master weaves, he constructs, he builds those into the masterpieces that he has designed for them to become. As tasteless as someone might say that the dress was for a public affair, more tasteless was the comment including the word $2 whore. Love doesn't behave in an unseeming way. Love does correct, but love does understand. Love believes the best in things, endures all things. Love does not condemn, especially for condemnation's sake. I think it's an important discussion because there are tons of women I know who look up to Dr. Carrie Bryant. and see in her the opportunity for them to achieve and grow and be all that they want to be, to have the husband, to have the life, to have the ministry. And when you basically call her a $2 whore, you're offending tons of our sisters and saying there are settings and places where even if your husband approves, he is wrong and you are but a $2 whore. That may not be what he intended to say or land. But as much as we might say that Dr. Bryant, Jamal Harrison, didn't give thought, care, or custody to buying the dress, that same measure could be put to this bishop who used the situation to characterize, call into question Dr. Bryant's character and his wife's character by likening her to a $2 whore. Our words are far-reaching. And the very thing we may intend may not land when or where we thought it would, but it may be detrimental to the church, its reputation, and to us as people. And we should just be mindful of that. You know, as I was talking, mostly I talked to male pastors. I talked to both young and old male pastors. I talked to younger people, older people, middle-aged people, if you will, about their reaction. I played a part of the video, which I won't play here. I don't have the rights to the video. A part of the video from the bishop so that they could have some context. And upwards of 85% of those people had some commentary, not just about this bishop. I want you to get this. Some commentary about the church. That the church's go-to is condemnation. That the church's go-to is not love. What an indictment that would be if that were true of the universal church. But thanks be to God, that isn't the truth of the universal church. Sure, there are far too many folks who are rushing to judgment about every preacher, every pastor, every gospel artist, every choir director, every musician, every first lady, every. But just as African Americans, Africans in the diaspora are not a monolith, neither are churches. And where one person has or hasn't done or said things that didn't live up to the standard doesn't mean that they are the ambassador of their denomination. Now, I think there is some accountability that we can hold some of these representatives to within denominations, especially those that are jurisdictional or connectional churches. There are opportunities for better accountability. But one person does not represent us all. Again, I'm not a bishop. I'm not an itinerant elder. I'm not a superintendent. I'm not even in an organization where they have superintendents. I'm not a pastor. I'm not any of those things. What I can tell you is while my practice of love is imperfect, it's in a perfect position to hear from the quintessential love about how I can work on speaking the truth in love. And really, if you have an opinion and you think it can have impact, you need to speak it in love. If you don't feel that your opinion is going to have impact, or it isn't, you don't intend to use it to have positive impact, you might keep your opinion to yourself. Use your opinion, use your influence, use your pull, use your leverage where you're going to have positive impact on people's situations or circumstances. Don't waste it where you're just going to render condemnation. The world is full of people who will use their platform to bring condemnation to others. The world is filled with them, of people who will make folly of your falls. The world is filled with them that will make fissures because of what you're trying to fix. Filled with them. But you have an opportunity to use your voice, your opinion, your influence for good. And that's the challenge, right? It's challenging because you see things that you don't agree with, but 9 times out of 10, we don't have all the facts. We don't have the facts. We don't know why the dress was chosen. We don't know what the thoughts are behind the dress. And more importantly, unless we know them, because, we believe because of social media, we know everybody. We don't know what is at the core of Dr. Bryant or Lady Dr. Bryant's heart. Man looks at the outer appearance. But God, the quintessential love, he looks at the heart. So before you or I rush to judgment and say, I love that dress, but it is just not. Now, that's my first thought. If she were my first lady, she's not. Interesting dress choice. But before you jump to conclusion, go to curiosity. Get an understanding if you need it. And then use your voice to build, to uplift, to inspire, and to speak the truth in love. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? We're going to take a quick break. We're at 9:14, almost complete. I'm going to see what happened to my good folks over there at TikTok. It cut them off. I don't know why that happened, but I want you to consider our next activity, which is going to be happening very soon. 36 questions that lead to love.
Can 36 questions make you fall in love? What if I told you 2 young psychologists discovered over 30 years ago that just 36 questions could create real closeness between complete strangers? And that the same questions might lead you to love or help you discover more about yourself than you ever imagined. This isn't a dating gimmick. It's an experiment that's been studied and repeated around the world. People walked in as strangers and walked out feeling deeply connected. Some even got married. But here's the twist. It's not just about romance. These questions open the door to vulnerability, honesty, and self-reflection. They help you see who you are, how you love, and what really matters to you in relationships. So whether you're looking for love or looking to learn more about yourself in the process, click the link, sign up, and let's walk through these 36 questions together. Who knows? Love might just be one question.
Who knows? Love might just be one step away. So if you're interested in joining us for 36 questions that lead to love, as she says, click the link. Click the link right here. This is the QR code, and you'll get a chance to, it didn't move. Oh, there we go. You'll get a chance to, there it is, 36 questions that lead to love. Our 1.0 was wildly successful and very entertaining. And we want you to join us for 2.0. It's where we will pair you together virtually in breakout rooms to have time together and go through all of the questions and see whether or not you build connection, whether or not it leads to more intimate setting, opens you up to being ready to hear about the possibility of a stranger becoming someone that you get to know more closely. And you will be amazed at this experiment went viral, had great success, and I see why. And I want you to participate. So if you're interested, scan the link, the QR code rather, enter your information, and we will be in touch. This is going to happen. It's going to go down right around Valentine's Day, and we're going to have some amazing prizes and opportunities for you, those of you that participate. So you want to scan the QR code, you can do that right now. Thank you so much. All right. It's 9:17. And before we close, I wanted to give you an opportunity to share your comments on this dress, on this situation. I'm going to put it one more time. Tell me your thoughts. We've been hearing them everywhere, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say anywhere. And I'm taking a quick look to see what happened to my TikTok friends. Okay, just checking across platforms. Okay, want to make sure. So you're seeing this outfit and you're thinking what? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking when you see it? And Tamara Baker has joined us. Aramat Baker, thank you so much. What are you thinking when you see that dress? What are you thinking? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear from you. What are you thinking? Ladies, is that a dress that you would wear? Would you wear that dress? Anywhere outside of the house, would you wear that dress? Fellas, would you buy that dress for your lady? Is that a dress that you would buy? Would you buy that dress? Would you buy that dress? Would you buy that dress? I'm just curious. Would you? And check the chat very quickly. Okay. Checking on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, not LinkedIn. Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna take it down. I just wanted to see. Again, for me, disclaimer, I'm not a preacher, pastor, bishop, itinerant elder, superintendent, district elder, minister, licensee. I'm not married. if I were married and a pastor, that dress would be for us at home. But that's me. I think it is a matter of personal preference. I think it speaks to culture, and I think it speaks to what some deem as acceptable for them versus what others deem as acceptable to them. To me, it's not a modest representation. I don't think modesty is what they were going for, though. And modesty is important to me in many settings, but maybe not to the next person. And I think that is an individual preference that has to be fleshed out with Holy Spirit about what is appropriate representation for you wherever you are. And I just want to get back to the place where Black people love Black people. Thank you, Dravian, Pastor Siller. Thank you so much. I just want to get to the place where Black people love Black people enough to speak the truth in love. And if you don't have the relationship with somebody, then maybe you don't say that publicly. Because really, if the impact of the truth that you speak is for correction, you're going to need relationship. Most cases, correction is most effective when you have relationship with the person or persons that you are attempting to correct. It becomes offense if you're correcting someone that you don't have relationship with. Most people do not take critique and criticism well from people they don't know. Some struggle taking it from people they know. So it would be wise to leverage relationship to speak the truth in love. You got to ask, what is the purpose of my opinion, of sharing my opinion with someone? Just so that people know what I think, so that people like my content, so that my stuff goes viral. Why am I sharing my opinion on someone else's life? Why am I imposing or superimposing my thoughts, my culture, my discipline, my orientation on someone else that I'm not in relationship with? What is the purpose of my speaking the truth in love? Is it absolute truth founded in the tenets of the Bible or other documents? Is it my truth based on my experience and my denomination and my walk of faith? Is it, what is it? And why am I sharing it? And I think this is good to do, whether it is about a dress or about anything that you render opinion on that doesn't directly impact you. Now, don't get me wrong. We are entitled to our opinions. You have one, you're entitled to it. But when you are speaking the truth in love, since love doesn't behave unseemingly, since it doesn't seek its own, it's not puffed up, since love has specific characteristics about it, since love is a specific essence, being, deity, and we can describe, we can trace, we can observe evidence of how love navigates and moves. If we are to be that in flesh, if we're to be that in heart, shouldn't we think about what is behind why we are saying what we're saying about other people? Particularly in this world and climate where Black and brown people, I don't know if you're paying attention, aren't faring that well in comparison to the larger scheme of things. Should we be distracted by a dress or attracted to the real issues that plague our people? Love has a lot more work to do than identify and reveal and condemn a dress. Now, I can't tell you how to use your platform. how to use your power, how to use your influence, how to leverage it. I can only hope that however you decide to do it, that there's some guiding premise that will help you to do it responsibly. That's all I can hope for. And that's why I wanted to broach the topic briefly tonight. Because there's so many people looking at love, looking at the church, and wondering why there seems to be such a vast difference in the two. I want to tell you, it's not perfect, the church, people in it. We're working out our soul salvation with fear and trembling. And the church is a living organism filled with imperfect people. I just think that if we're going to be in the name of the church, which is the name of love, Jesus said he owns the church. This is my church. Upon this rock, I will build my church. If we're going to be in the name of love, in the name of the one who gave all for love, God so loved us that he gave the very best that he had so that we could be reconciled to him. You're talking about a God who's giving his very best. And we're representing that. I think we have to be at our best when we decide that our commentary should impact what others are doing. Sure, if you're led to call someone into correction, work on the relationship first so that they can hear you. It's hard to hear from strangers who you don't know have your best interests at heart. It's hard to hear from your enemy when they're on the opposite end. No, most of the good correction is going to come from someone that we know actually cares about us. And that's where we really begin to speak the truth in love. Do you love me? Then help me. Do you love me? Then firmly correct me in love. Don't say that I'm parading my wife as a $2 whore. You may mean every part of those syllables that you say, but what is the impact that you're hoping to achieve? Be responsible with your words and speak the truth in love. It's 9:29. I'm grateful for the few of you that have joined. I just wanted to address it because every feed on every platform that I am engaging with people on has this photo or photo similar to this photo. And the video of the bishop whose comments seem more than inflammatory. And I just want to tell you, the whole church is not that. And even that, as imperfect as it is, still has room for grace and to be reconciled with what is right. I'm Marcus Holmes. I'm grateful that you've joined me. I hope you will go to the top of the page wherever you are. Connect with us. Join the Love and Stuff community. If you're on Facebook, go to that community, click the notification bell so that every Tuesday at 8:30, you can come and join in. I can't promise that topics will always be salacious, but we're always trying to up our love game so that we recognize that the quintessential love is love. And God loved us so much that he's given so much to us and written so much to us to lovingly woo us into relationship with him, that we would love him with everything we have. I'm paraphrasing. And then would love our neighbors as ourselves. So that's right. You need to love yourself. And part of our challenge is that we're trying to love everybody else. Boo, bae, husband, wife, side chick, Willie and Jack. But we haven't really embraced the love that God has for us to help us love ourselves. And that's what we're about in the Love and Stuff community, shining light on that so that this trifecta, if you will, love of God, love of self, love of others, helps to increase the amount of love in our world. And if that resonates with you, you've happened upon the right place, you're in the right community, and we'd love for you to be a regular part. All right, we will see you soon. Have a grateful evening. Thank you so much for joining. Tune in on Saturday for Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix. Special edition, I'm calling it. Saturday is Felix's birthday. He's the co-host of Sports Talk with Kamau, so jump in there and tell him a happy birthday. Shout out to Rochelle Weathers. It's her birthday today. And to so many others, these January babies. I ain't thinking about y'all, but there's a whole bunch of y'all. And so we're just trying to share as much love as we can because we believe in celebrating life. And listen, if you don't feel like you have anything to celebrate, inbox us so that we can connect you, so that you can really find out that the love that you have is enough to carry you till you can recognize that you've got something to celebrate. We want to connect you to the power of that, and we want you to know that you are never alone. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you soon.
Saved by love, count my blessing from above. Though in darkness, have no fear. Light will shine on those holding near. They know that sorrow they will pass. For I know in this life there will be something, but remember that love, yes it will, love will reign, yeah, love will reign, yeah, in my heart I believe it. Love will reign. Oh, yeah. Have a vision. It's clear and plain. People living life, smiling again. Oh, see the children. They know no pain. Far from pressure, stress and strain. Oh, sorrow, they will pass. For I know in this life there's gonna be some pain, but remember that love, yes it will. I know, yeah, love will reign. someday pain will be over and love